Hello, Algebros. Welcome to section 9.6. We are on the last section for chapter 9. And also, this is our last lesson for our school year. Congratulations, you have made it this far. For the last lesson here, we are going to work on dividing polynomials. Now, let's take these terms here, for example, and simplify. Okay, 6x divided by 2x gives us 3, right? Our x's cancel out, and then 6 divided by 2. Here, x to the 6th power divided by x to the 2 power, or x squared, when we divide, the powers would subtract, remember? So then we end up with x to the 4th power. Now, let's take a look here. 5x to the 5th power, 10 divided by 10x to the 10th power. So our 5 and 10 here cancel out, right? We divide, this becomes 1/2. 5, or x to the 5th power here, and x to the 10th power. These x to the 5th power cancel out, and we have 10 minus 5, and that gives us x to the 5th power on the bottom. Now, if we simplify this, we're going to take this and distribute it through our parentheses. So 6x times 1/3, or basically 6 divided by 3, right? Gives us 2x. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Here, if we distribute 1 over x to each of these terms, our x's divide out. So we have 4x. And then this x and x cancel out, so we end up with 7. When we're dividing polynomials, dividing by a monomial, divide each term of the polynomial by the monomial. So, in other words here, if I have a plus b plus c, that's my polynomial, and I divide by d, I take each term and I divide each term by d. So it's a divided by d plus b divided by d and c divided by d. Let's take a look at an example here. All right, we have 12x squared plus 20x divided by 4x. This means I'm going to take 12x squared divided by 4x. So 12 divided by 4 gives me 3, right? X squared divided by x. So I have 3x. And here, 20x divided by 4x. My x's cancel out. And 20 divided by 4 gives me 5. So there's my answer. If I have 8x cubed plus 16x squared minus 4x divided by negative 4x, then I take each term, and I'm going to divide by negative 4x. So 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. X cubed divided by x, excuse me, gives me x squared. Here, 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. And then one of the x's cancel out, and then this becomes 1. And so we have negative 2x squared minus 4x, 16 divided by negative 4, and then plus 1. Negative number divided by negative number gives me 1, a positive number. To divide a polynomial by a polynomial, the long division format can be used. So now, if we have a polynomial that we're going to divide, now we have to use long division, okay? So x plus 2, we're going to first look at what times x gives me x squared. That was going to be x, right? So x times x gives me x squared. 2x, I get 2x right here, okay? And then I'm going to subtract those, right? So this x squared minus x squared gives me 0, right? 6x minus 2x gives me what? 4x. And then I'm going to bring the minus 9 down. What times x is going to give me 4x now? I'm going to multiply by 4. So plus 4 Okay, so I get 4x, and then 4 times 2 is 8. And then now I'm going to subtract those terms. Okay, 4x minus 4x is 0, right? Negative 9 minus 8 is going to give me negative 17. So negative 17 now is the remainder. Let's take a look here. If I have x plus 2 divided into this equation, this polynomial, what times x gives me x squared? It's going to be, so when we worked out the long division already, okay? So when you're writing the final quotient, place the remainder over the divisor. So x plus 4, that was what we had here, right? Minus, and then 17 was the remainder, because it was negative 17 actually. And then over the divisor, here's my divisor, x plus 2. And so it's going to be minus 17 over x plus 2. And then this is your final quotient, the final answer. Okay, so some steps to review for dividing polynomials. Arrange the terms in both the dividend and divisor in descending degree, so from largest to smallest. Complete the divide, multiply, and subtract procedure. So just like in your long division, divide, multiply, and subtract. Then, whoops, number 3 here, whoopsies. Sorry about that. For number 3 here, repeat step 2 until the degree of the new dividend is less than the degree of the divisor. Place any remainder over the divisor and add the resulting rational expression to the quotient. And then the last step, check your results by multiplying your answer by the divisor. So let's take another example here, okay? Now we have x cubed minus 8, and we're dividing by x minus 2. So first we take a look here. What times x gives me x cubed? Well, that's going, oh, you can plug in also for x squared as placeholders. Put a 0, because that's going to be 0, right? And then you have an x. We need to put a placeholder so that you see it's x cubed, squared, and to the first power, but we have the placeholders here. Now we look at what times x gives me x cubed. X squared times x, right, gives me x cubed. So I have x cubed here, and then negative 2 times x squared is going to be minus 2x squared. And then I'm going to subtract, right? And that cancels out x cubed minus x cubed. And then this is 0, x squared minus negative 2x squared. So it's going to be actually plus 2x squared, right? Okay, then I bring the 0x down. And then what times x is going to give me x squared over here? Yes, it's going to be 2x. 2x times x gives me 2x squared. And then 2x times negative 2 is going to be negative 4x. And I'm going to subtract that, right? So 2x squared minus 2x squared gives me 0. 0x minus negative 4x gives me 4x. And then I bring the negative 8 down, or minus 8. And then what times x gives me 4x? 4, okay? And it's plus 4, because 4x. And then 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, minus 8. And then I'm going to subtract, and look, that gives me 0. So here actually is my final answer, x squared plus 2x plus 4. All right, let's take a look at another example here. I have 3a plus 1 and 3a cubed minus 5a squared plus a plus 2. This polynomial divided by 3a plus 1. So what am I going to look at? I'm going to look at 3a. What times 3a is going to give me 3a cubed? That's going to be a squared, right? 3a times a squared. So that's going to give me 3a cubed, okay? And then here, 1 times a squared, just have a squared there. And then I'm going to subtract that, okay? So 3a cubed minus 3a cubed becomes 0. Minus 5a squared minus a squared is going to give me negative 6a squared. So now I bring down the a plus a, okay? What times 3a is going to give me negative 6a squared? It's going to be negative 2a. So minus 2a times 3a is going to give me negative 6a squared. Negative 2a times 1 gives me minus 2a. I'm going to subtract all of this, okay? And so this actually cancels out. And a minus negative 2a gives me 3a. I'm going to bring the 2 down. Now, what times 3a gives me 3a? Well, it's 1, right? So plus 1. Okay, 1 times 3a, 1 times 1. And then I get 3a plus 1. I'm going to subtract those two. And I get 0 here. 2 minus 1 is 1. And so my remainder is going to be 1 over the divisor. Remember? 3a plus 1. So here's my quotient. A squared minus 2a plus 1 plus the remainder of 1 over 3a plus 1. All right, now go ahead and give this a try. Just a few problems here for you to practice dividing your polynomials. Thank you guys for your great attention and your hard work for this chapter, for this quarter, and for this entire school year. Congratulations on completing Algebra 1.